States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now we'll have a moment of silence. All right. Call to order the January 12th Mountain Grove, Missouri City Council meeting. Got minutes from last meeting for you to look over. I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay, Brenda made a motion.
Second.
Jamie second. John, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dale?
Yes.
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. That got the senior center report from Becky LaFavor and Lynette Bradshaw.
All right, guys, I'm going to start off by introducing the new director at the Senior Center. This is Wynette. So she's going to give you the report for this past month for December.
Okay, for 60 plus, we served 1806. For under 60, we served 30. For freezer meals, we served 2,954 with a total of 4,790 meals.
Things are going good.
Yeah.
Thanks for the new format. I like to see how we're gaining or losing ground.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We just went back to this fiscal year that we're on, so.
Sure.
Yeah. Any questions for her?
And I'm going to tell you, Miss Waynette is really appreciated out at the center.
She's a
She
rock
does
star.
a
She's doing
fine
good.
job.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard.
Well,
and
thank you.
You'll do a great job, I'm sure.
Thank you.
And so,
All right.
any other questions or comments? All right, thank
What's
you.
on the menu
Lynette.
Thursday?
Got the menu? I don't know.
I don't have it with me. I don't
Oh, it's a
know.
week from Thursday. I have the menu.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you got Chief Gibbons and Fire Department report.
Well, Happy New Year to those of y'all I haven't seen yet. So December, we ended with 115 calls, which made a total of 1,457 calls for the year. For January, we're already up to 40. So we're going to keep staying busy, it looks like. We had 13 fire department members show up for Shop with a Hero. Really, really great event. All the kids like hugging us and stuff. It was amazing. I love helping them. I'm looking at sending a couple of the full-time guys to a safety seat technician class in West Plains in March, just so I'm not the only one. That way there's a little bit more coverage there for us. The 10 sets of gear that I ordered in November were delayed due to the holiday. Imagine that. But the sales rep told me that they should be here into this month, and we'll get some concessions somewhere, maybe a couple of pairs of gloves for no charge or something as part of our trouble. So extra equipment, I'm not mad about it. And then in December, I restarted as a CPR instructor for 2 more years, and I'm also looking at sending a couple more of the full-time guys to CPR instructor, so we have more in the city. I've gotten a lot of interest from a few different places. Missouri Specialty Proteins is going to send their 7 people to a class, a CPR class with us. Country Living, as they get new people, they reach out and set up a class with me. And I'm looking at advertising another Heart Saver just to see how many people that haven't called are interested in doing it. Other than that, it's been a pretty busy January so far with everything, so. But other than that, that's really all I have.
Any questions for Chief Gibbons? How's your training attendance at your Monday meetings?
It's going pretty decently. Some days are fuller than others.
Yeah.
Speaking of training, we will be putting on a railroad safety class, I believe it is, from the LEPD
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of the C, coming up in the next few months. I'm not sure, I haven't got the email yet, but I signed up for it, so I figured as close to the railroad as we are, wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, I'd say we've got 20 or 22 volunteers on the roster, about half of them show up for training. So,
Good deal. That's pretty good.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
The 1457, is that about where we were last year? Do you remember?
last year we were at 1396,
Okay.
so I think we've gone up about 50 calls roughly in the years past, so.
All right. Any other questions or comments for Chief Gibbons? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Chief Bledsoe and the Police Department report.
Good evening. We finished out the year this year with 9,303 calls. So we had a very busy year. December, I think we ended up with 860 calls for service for the month. We are currently trying to close up our end of the year things, getting all the reports to the state for racial profiling and things like that. We are, this next month, we have gotten, or we got with Missouri State University, and we're going to host a drone pilot training course to offer to different agencies around the community. And we've already, just word of mouth, it's already filling up quick. So we're pretty excited about that. Tomorrow, we have 4 officers that will be starting SOG training, our Special Operations Group, where they will have a 40-hour course over tactical building searches, medical course, things like that. And so they will be busy for the next few weeks, because we'll break it up over the next month. So.
What is the average deployment of SOG team? I know it's hard to say, but
There, like last month, I think we only had 1, but there's been several months that we'd have 5 or 6, so it just depends.
it's a good thing.
Along with that, we've also, I don't know if I've talked to you about that or not, but not just on the high-end search warrant stuff, but we're also doing a major crime unit, where we'll go out and assist in the county, as well as having them come in and help us.
How many officers are you gonna have on that one?
We're looking at 6 right now, so try to combine our resources the best we can. So
Whenever they do the SOG training, do they get card or any kind of recognition that they've completed the training?
yes, they'll get a certificate, but they also get post-training as well.
And what about these 6 special,
That's, we're not sure yet on
Okay.
that part, where that's gonna end up being, so.
all right. Any other questions for Chief Bledsoe?
On that drone deal, we do have an officer that's going to go and get certified.
Do we have a drone yet?
We don't. We're pursuing some grant opportunities, looking into it to help purchase one, but we definitely want to have the guy certified.
Yeah.
So as we're pursuing it, makes sense to say we do have one.
That
So
sounds good,
yeah.
yep.
Back to Shop of the Hero, like Clint brought up, man, I cannot thank our community enough. We raised well over $30,000 for that event. Probably 100, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but probably 140 kids that we end up giving $200 each for Christmas. So,
Good deal, that is a great program. I've been fortunate enough to participate in that quite a bit, and it's really, it's a humbling experience is what it is, so.
you see them buying candy and chips and stuff because it's things that they don't get
Yeah.
throughout the year. And that's, those are the little things that they like to get. So,
All right, any other questions, comments? Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
All right, Jordan Weiss with Animal Control.
Good evening. Just a yearly recap for animal control. Last year, I responded to 1,111 calls for service for animal control. That's about average of what I did the year before. We had 228 animals go through the shelter last year, 152 dogs, 74 cats, 1 chicken, and 1 pig. He didn't stay long, thank goodness. 78 of those animals were returned to their owners, 89 were adopted out, and 34 were transferred to rescues. Still to date, since I've started here, we've not had to euthanize any adoptable animals,
Good
so
deal.
that's something that I'm pretty proud of. Our shelter intakes from the year before are down about 18%. Most likely, I think, because of the city allowing us to do the microchipping for city licenses. I can't tell you how many times I've picked up a dog, just scan them, take them right home. They don't even have to go to the shelter. So that's something I definitely want to continue to keep trying to get people to do. With that, our licensing for the city also went up. So years prior, we've had about right around 200 licenses a year. This year, we were at 322 licenses, which I can promise you is still not all the animals in the city, but it's getting better. 159 of those were the permanent licenses, which is the microchipping. So I do think that's been really successful. We did a vaccine and microchip clinic at a discounted cost. Williams Vet Clinic helped to put that on, so that went really well. We actually had over 300 animals go through there in about a 4-hour time frame. So it was crazy, but it was really good. We had people come from West Plains, Northern Arkansas, just all over the place to get discounted vaccines and microchips. Just a little while ago, I did a pet food pantry, trying to help people get through hard times so they wouldn't abandon their animals. That went really, really well. We had over 2,000 pounds of dog food and cat food donated to us by the community that I put in Ziploc bags and distributed to people to try and help them through that. The Grove Community Cat Coalition, which is separate from animal control, but the city works, we kind of work together. We have spayed and neutered 337 feral cats in town. And that is a decent number, but when you think about the fact that we have prevented, on average, over 22,000 kittens from being born, my calls for cat complaints are going down probably 80%. That really is making a difference, and that's funded by members of our community. So, aside from that, just the usual. I worked several abandonment cases last year, a few neglect cases, just lots of support from the community and surrounding areas, so that's all I've got.
Is your pet food pantry gonna be something that's a continuous thing, or are you just gonna do it like once in a while, or?
I would like to continue to do it for people in need. I still have a little bit. I'm down to probably about the last 100 pounds of food that I had, and I've been debating, but I've had situations, domestic violence situations, where I've actually been contacted by professionals needing food. So I'm really considering continuing it. I think it would be a really good thing, so.
All right, cool. Thank you, ma'am. Any questions or comments for?
I just think we
Jordan?
need a round of applause for Jordan and all she's done for the community.
She does a good job.
Amazing. It speaks to my heart, and I just am so appreciative of all the initiatives just this year that you've brought forward, and really helped our community. And so great to see our community respond to the need just by letting know there's a need, because a lot of times you don't even understand or know the volume to which something as simple as spaying or neutering a pet, how many unwanted pets it can prevent. And so I think it's just outstanding. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Okay, since we have no old business, no public, Citizens Advisory Board. Cheyenne here? Yeah, there she is, hiding in the back.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. We met last Monday, recapping on all of our events that we have coming up. Now that we're through the holidays, we've got a busy schedule ahead for Prop U. Our first town hall meeting being this Thursday, January the 15th at 6 p.m. It will actually be hosted in the high school cafeteria. We would encourage and like to see all of you there as well. We will do a recap presentation. We will also have a representative speaker from Jeff City to enlighten us and educate the public on the use tax and the benefits of it. Still lots of positive feedback we've heard with the give and take on the lowering the use tax. So that's been a great positive for us all around. Then after that, this coming Saturday, January the 17th, the Wright County Federation Republican Women's Meeting, we will have the opportunity, Tony will be discussing the use tax with that group as well. February 20th is the Christian Women Together group. That's a 10 a.m. meeting to be determined on the location. All of these meetings we would like to invite you to if you feel led to attend. We would appreciate an extra face. April 2nd, right before the election, we are going to be at the Senior Center again on a recap. Hopefully clear up, spread the word a little more, fresh reminder right before April 7th. We also did approve postcards to hand out this Thursday at the town meeting at the high school cafeteria. I'll pass this around so you can see it. I brought one with you. It was brought up that it was a good idea to have something that they could, put on their refrigerator as a staple reminder. Both sides are utilized. Funded by the Citizens Advisory Board. We also have in the paper this week, it will be posted, our meeting, to hopefully spread the word and invite as much public as possible. If we can get a full house of 300 people, our voting numbers, that would be great, and that's our goal. So I would encourage everyone that whoever you talk to this week, tell them to show up to the meeting so we can have a full house. Any questions?
Appreciate the work you guys do.
Yes.
I can't commend you enough.
It's
Thank you.
great. How many postcards do you have?
500.
500?
Yes. We did the postcards just for this Thursday meeting, but we can get more if needed. We wanted to do something besides the trifold, just specifically for this event since it's separate. It's not just informational, but we'll have a speaker there as well, and we're hoping for a large crowd.
Okay.
The card looks good.
Yes, it does.
That might be something I might attempt to go door to door with closer
Yeah.
to April.
If that's something that you're interested in, we can get more, absolutely.
Okay. All righty.
All right.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
You do
thank
good work.
you.
Thank you.
Now then, public comments. Is there any public comments back there? Zero? All right. Now then, we can move on to the new business. Wastewater plant update. Bob Summers.
Most exciting thing you're gonna talk about tonight, wastewater. Oh, good evening, everybody. My name's Bob Summers. I'm with Heartland Engineering, and I've met most of you already. So I'm glad to be back here and talking to you. I'll try to keep it brief this evening. I believe that the city went through a selection process, and we're now officially, we're not contracted yet, but we will be as the grant comes in. Dakota has signed up for what's called a Clean Water Engineering Grant, or CWERG, and we should know probably certainly in the next month if you're going to get that. It's a $50,000 grant and requires a $12,000 match, I believe, something like that. That grant will allow us to write an engineering report figuring out what we believe are the best solutions to your wastewater scenarios, and both on the collection and the treatment side. We'll be obviously doing some field work as well as writing a report. And then eventually that will go into the state revolving fund folks to take a look at. I think, other than to answer any questions that you have, the main reason I'm here tonight is to talk to you a little bit about timing. So because of the special use tax, if I call that right, being on the April ballot, I believe that the right answer is not to put a bond election on that same ballot for obvious reasons. And so we're looking at probably, if the council decides to do so, to put a bond election on the August ballot or even February of next year. I would encourage the sooner the better, and I'll get into that in just a moment. What that does, though, from a logistics standpoint, is the state revolving fund, which is funding the engineering report that we're getting ready to write. It will effectively bump you out of being able to apply for it this year. So the normal pattern is you apply for that fund in March the 1st. In order to do that, you have to have two things. One, you have to have the engineering report, which we could probably make that happen, although it would be very difficult. And two, you have to have some sort of collateral, if you will, that backs the loan portion of the wastewater plant and collection system rehab. We don't know what that's supposed to be today. We don't know what that amount is, but we know the only way you can get that collateral is through what's called bonding. So that can either be a sales tax, which normally you would not do, and I would not encourage you to do that unless you have a very valid reason to do so, or you would pass a revenue bond, which basically means that the users of your wastewater system or drinking water system, depending on what you're working on, would back they would become, their revenue, their water and sewer bills would become the collateral for that future loan. So we'll talk more about that as we get further down the road on how much that needs to be. It's going to be a sizable amount of money. But most likely, you would be looking at probably an August election, which means you need to start in June. It's 10 weeks ahead of the first Tuesday in August, whatever, the first Tuesday after the first Monday, something like that. That you would need to have that ballot language, probably work with Gilmore and Bell to put the ballot language together and get it submitted by, let's say, mid-June. The second part to this is that the state revolving fund is not the only, they're not the only funding source that's out there. There's really three sources. One, I don't know if you guys fit, that's called Community Development Block Grant. It's kind of, I like to say it's the tail that wags the dog. And on something this large, you probably don't want to bring them in because it just, the amount of red tape versus the amount of money they bring forward is not, usually it doesn't work real well. The state revolving fund is an obvious choice. We just talked about it, and so I won't rehash it again. But they would have funds that would be available. Ultimately, for you guys, they would be available in October of 2027. So it puts us 2 years out. The third source is the USDA Rural Development. And rural development, I have spent well north of $400 million of their money throughout my career. So I'm very, very familiar with the fund. Unfortunately, they have suffered a number of serious setbacks, mainly due to a hiring freeze throughout the nation. The USDA staff in Missouri has gone from about 75, 80 down to about 45, and it has substantially impacted their ability to do day-to-day business. They also don't have a state director, and they don't have a state engineer. And there's a number of offices that don't have regional directors. So all of that's the bad news. Here's the good news. I know the director, or now the, what would he be called, the assistant director. His name's David Cheek. He's located in Columbia, Missouri, and I spoke to him at length last Thursday. We had a heart-to-heart discussion, and I said, look, this is a serious project that's going to be a sizable amount of money. Can rural development take this thing on? And he said, absolutely. This would be a good thing for them to take a look at because it fits, the amount of money that's involved fits their mold well, and if you passed your bond in August, potentially we could have funding by November or before that. There'll be a couple other steps like environmental assessment that will have to occur. I'll handle work with Dakota to make sure that that happens. There'll have to be a number of advertisements that will need to go in the newspaper. Again, I'll work with everybody to make sure those things happen. But I think that there are an avenue that we need to very seriously look at, and if everything goes south, we can still apply for SRF funding in March of next year because we'll already have everything in place, and then we should be a shoe-in for that program. But I do feel the interest rates right now, which we think will continue to fall a little bit, are, you guys fit the poverty rate. So in order to, by getting that, you're within, I don't know, a percentage point of SRF, and rural development will allow you to take it out to 35 years instead of 20 years. So there's a whole lot of advantages financially to use rural development. I'm not here tonight to advocate one versus the other. I'm just saying this is another tool that we want to explore, and the grant that we believe is coming through Dakota's efforts is likely to give us the ability to check all of those things out. So, I told you I wouldn't stay too long. You guys already met earlier at the wastewater plant, and no, I am long-winded, so I apologize. But I think I have I covered the bases you wanted me to cover?
Yep.
Okay, are there any questions on the field trip, on financing, on wastewater, anything that just...
Real quick on financing, the three choices you mentioned, the third one, I forget the exact name of it, I didn't write it down. But if that's the best option, if we can do that, now are you saying that one would be the only one we could apply for, or we can do that and the one in March and put them together? Or can you only do one?
You can, in theory, you can apply for both. You can apply for all three, actually, in theory. Rural development and SRF don't play well in the sandbox together. And what both sides would tell you the exact same story. They're going to say, look, we're a big enough organization that we can bond, or not, excuse me, that we can loan, say, $20 or $30 million. We don't need somebody else to be involved, and all you're going to do is create more red tape, and you're probably not going to get much more grant money, one versus the other, although rural development does, in theory, have the ability to bring more grant percentage.
But they're the ones with the most red tape, you say? Or is that not right?
I'm very, very good at their red tape, and so it doesn't scare me in the least. In fact, I have used more of their money by double any money throughout my career, but they're in a tight spot nationally that makes things a lot more difficult than they were, say, 3 years ago.
Thank you.
You said rural development will go 35 years versus 20 with the SRF?
Right, there is a way to go. Don't hold me to this. I believe it's 25 years with SRF. I believe you pay about 1% more on your interest rate. But those guys, the good part about SRF is their interest rate currently is 1.8% on 20 years. So it's what you get by being a public entity is that your bonds are not taxed. Your interest rate is not taxed. So you knock off a couple of interest points, and then the federal or the state government comes in and actually subsidizes it. It's a semi-grant. It's just in the form of a lower interest rate.
What about rural development? What's their interest rate?
Currently, again, you can go Google this. You'd want to look up the poverty rate. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be dead wrong, but I believe that it's in the 2.8 or 3% range currently on 35 years.
Okay.
Forgive me if I'm half a point off.
Okay,
I
that's
could be.
just ballpark is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Very exciting talk about wastewater. Riveting.
When you talk about the bond and having to vote for that and utilizing the revenue, which is what we get from our residents here, does that equate to higher water bills for our residents? And we won't know what that will be until we have more numbers.
That's exactly right. This is one of the catch-22s that we're put in every single project that we go and get funding for. And so here's what when we have town hall meetings to try to pass a bond election, which is part of the program that Heartland Engineering will help put on if we get to that point, is we'll stand up, we'll have a question and answer sheet that puts the facts in black and white. And one of those question and answers is going to be, what will my bill be? And it's going to say, we frankly don't know. The only way we can find out what the bill could be is by passing this bond election, because we know without a doubt, if you don't pass the bond election, you were to go get private equity, your interest rate is going to be 7% over 20 years. Typically, we see a water or sewer bill double versus what you would pay when you have low interest loans through SRF or rural development. So what we say is, public, what we want you to do is help us pass this bond election. We as a council are not forced by the government to take any package, but we can't find out what they're going to offer until we pass a bond election, because we have to have collateral for that loan. So public, please pass this thing and trust the council to make the decision on your behalf. Is the package that whoever the funding agency gives it to you guys, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And then you guys as a council decide, can we stand our, in this case, wastewater rates going up? Water rates typically are not impacted by a sewer project unless the council came out and said, we absolutely want to raise both rates. Then it would be awkward, but you could do that. So there is no way to win this one, because you've got to get your bonds passed. Otherwise, the government just says, until you get bonds, we're not even going to give you any kind of package to tell you if this is a good deal or a bad deal. I can tell you it's going to be the best deal that you're going to get, because there's nobody in the world that's going to give you grant dollars and subsidized poverty rate interest rates. So that is going to be your best bet.
And in being involved with these types of programs, how successful are these bond campaigns typically in getting them passed in communities like ours?
I don't have a good answer to that. Got me choked up. We have passed bonds for Winona, Birch Tree, Eminence, 30 people to the east of here. So we have been very, very successful. I haven't lost a bond election. I haven't lost a bond election in 5 years, seven years, something like that. When you show the public, first of all, you want to be extremely transparent with the public.
Right.
There should be no cover-up of what you're doing here. Invite the people out in, I don't know if you want to invite them to your sewer plant. Show pictures of your sewer plant, and that in itself is going to tell a story. And say, guys, we have to do something. And you do have to do something. The next thing you do is you put on a town hall meeting, and you ask the public to come in, and you answer questions until there are no more questions to be answered. And then you have a public campaign. It's very similar to Cheyenne, I believe it was. It came up. She's doing the right campaign. It's the same. It's a grassroots effort that says, look, we don't have a choice. We have to do something, and this is the best, cheapest route to keep your bills as low as possible. And generally speaking, as long as you pick a election date that is not on a controversial, some other subject. There's not a presidential or a Senate ballot or a school tax of some kind. Don't ever pick those, ever. Delay before you pick those, because you want to win the first time and not go back and back and back, and it just gets more difficult. So,
Thank you.
yeah, sorry about that. Got me all choked up on bond elections.
She has a habit of doing that.
I do.
All right, any other questions, comments?
The two rates of interest again was ballpark was 1.89 or
It's-
versus 2.93?
So, SRF, State Revolving Fund, is currently about 1.8%. It's not really fair to say that because they actually have a 3% tack on to the construction cost. I have to show you on paper. It ultimately is probably about a 2.25% in reality on 20 years. USDA Rural Development, again, go look this one up so I'm not lying to anybody in here. It's roughly 3 to 3.5%. The poverty rate is, and there are no other tack-on things that actually drive it up like SRF.
Okay.
Heck of a deal. You know, if we could go buy a house or a car on that, we'd take that all day long.
Oh, yeah. All right, anything else?
Okay, you bet. Dakota,
Thanks,
I
sir.
will send over, no, we've already done that. We're just waiting on the state to come back. We've already got the contract cleared by them, so. Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thank
You too.
Nice to see you again.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the MoDOT Highway 95 widening project. Jacob
Peter.
Capater. I didn't want to butcher it, so I let somebody else.
Yeah. Okay, well, good evening. I'll introduce myself, Jacob Capater. I'm a project manager at MoDOT. And I got Elquina Wallace, she's our area engineer, she's here with me.
Thank you.
I just wanted to kind of give an update and some background information on our Route 95 widening roadway project. I know there's been a lot of new people in different positions, so I don't know what all everybody knows or who all had attended some of the meetings previously had, so. To start with just kind of some background, this project was added to our STIP as a scoping project back in 2022. And that need came from SCOCOG, the regional, the RPC. And at that time, it was their #1 priority for the unfunded needs. And the reason for the project was to relieve congestion and reduce the amount of accidents on the corridor, so. And then in 2023, we added the project into our construction part of the STIP. So following that, we hired a consultant to do a traffic study in the summer of 2023. I'll go over kind of some of the highlights of the traffic study. The study limits were from here at Business 60 on 95 on the southern end up to about the Walmart entrance up on the north side. The objective of the study, it was to improve the safety and traffic flow along the corridor and to accommodate for future growth. Some of the existing conditions that the study found, the average daily traffic was around 14,000 vehicles a day. They did a crash history for the previous 5 years. That would have been from 2018 to 2022. They found 174 reported crashes, and that amount was approximately 3 times our statewide average for a same type of corridor. As you can probably guess, most of the crashes were concentrated around 60 up there, and then down here at Business 60. As far as the crash types, 53% were rear end collisions and 31% were right turn or left angle collisions. So those are the basic type of crashes you're going to get from somebody stopping to turn left, and then everybody else either not stopping and rear ending or trying to make that turn in front of oncoming traffic. There's also found 77 existing access points, either driveways, city streets. So those are all conflict points, so potential for accidents at those locations. Okay, so some of the concepts that they investigated to meet the objectives were roundabouts. So they looked at converting the existing signalized intersections into roundabouts. A roundabout typically reduces the number of vehicle conflict points pretty drastically compared to a signalized intersection. And with roundabouts, you typically see fewer severe crashes due to the angles of the traffic merging into the roundabouts. Another concept was, of course, the lane addition and adding the two-way center turn lane throughout the corridor. That will add additional lane capacity and add a dedicated left turn for both northbound and southbound. So you're going to reduce the congestion during the peak times, and you're going to have that capacity for the future traffic growth. We also looked at access management strategies. So that was looking at existing entrances and driveways and trying to reduce, modify, or restrict access where we could to improve the traffic flow as well as increase safety. They also looked into some traffic signal improvements, retiming, trying to modify and coordinate the existing signals, see what effect that would have as well. So with the study, they came up with a preferred alternative, which is what we had moved forward with. That was a combination of roundabouts up at the eastbound ramps of 60, a roundabout down here at Business 60, the addition of the center turn lane throughout the whole corridor with a 5-lane segment from 60 to 17th Street. And then we also combined some access management strategies too. So after the study, of course, we went to the public. We had a public meeting in 2023. There was approximately 38 written comments that we received from that public meeting and addressed. So after that, we had a public hearing about a year later in November of 2024. And then we got approved preliminary plans for the project about that same time. So that's kind of the background, current status of the project. Right now, we have a consultant working on the right-of-way plans, so they're finalizing those, as well as going through the environmental and NEPA process to get approval there. As with the NEPA and environmental, we were unable to obtain every single permission from all the parcels. There's 40 to 50 parcels that we were either touching or getting an easement or permanent right-of-way from. So with us not being able to access to do our archaeological surveys, which is part of the NEPA, we have to do a programmatic agreement. So that's in progress now. Basically, that will allow MoDOT to finalize the environmental clearance after we go through the right-of-way, after we obtain the right-of-way. So that would allow us to obtain the right-of-way, finish all the environmental clearances at that point. So that's where we're at now. This was in a letting of December of this year, 2026, but with the added timeline of that programmatic agreement and then the right-of-way negotiations with that many parcels, that we're not going to hit that letting most likely. So it is looking like a letting of fall of 2027 is more likely. which would mean construction spring, summer of '28, and probably '29. I anticipate a 2-year construction season for this type of job. One of the handouts I gave was it's got some information on roundabouts and some of the benefits of roundabouts, as well as kind of more detail on what I just hit on about the widening and access management. And then I also included some of our current preliminary plans. I know it's very hard to see on this, but I mean, I can provide you guys with digital copies if you guys would like to see those, so. But that's basically, I just wanted to give you guys an update on where we're at and any questions or concerns.
So would you say that the main reason for having to keep pushing it back is just because you were unable to obtain property permissions?
Yes,
That's the problem?
that's holding up the environmental, which holds up the right-of-way. We can't negotiate any right-of-way until we have full environmental clearance, so.
It's probably at what, about 9 months of the project?
Yeah, they say, yeah, typically 9 to 12 months for a programmatic agreement, which they started the process back in the fall, so hopefully.
This last fall?
Yeah.
Jacob, when you say the bullet point, unable to obtain property permissions from all landowners, does that mean landowners were refusing, or that just means some other?
We were denied access from several properties, and then some of the properties, we just never could get nothing back from. We couldn't get contact with them, so.
I was one of the reasons I was curious, I heard some of that, but like, part of this is on our business that I work at, and I know we hadn't been contacted yet, and we were kind of thinking it was coming sometime.
Right.
So I was curious about that, if they just hadn't got that far, or what the.
Yeah, which business?
Deal was. It would be the funeral home right here on the corner.
I believe we had sent them a letter and had received a permission from the funeral home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't tell me, but I thought we were still
Yeah.
waiting.
But they did go through, and since we had so many parcels, they were able to condense it down to the ones we absolutely needed to get permission to get on and do the digging, so.
Okay, well, I was just hoping, I thought that was an example it didn't get to, maybe there's others like that.
I'm
but
pretty sure we got
maybe
that
that's
one
already
early
been-
in the process, but.
Okay.
Does eminent domain not pertain to the ability to get the property that's needed?
Well, it would, that would be part of this, once the programmatic agreement, which would allow us to do that. So then we would have to go through either the negotiation or eminent domain to get the property and then finish the testing, so.
So do you think, what was your number? Do you think you got about half the landowners to agree, or do you?
I don't know the numbers offhand, but I would say a little more than half. I mean, there were still several that I heard nothing back from after multiple attempts and phone calls, so. And then once I got several just denied access, so I can't move forward from that point, so.
And what do you do when there is denied access like that? You may have said, but say, like, how do you move forward past that? Eventually you can?
Yeah, that's why this programmatic agreement is a document that we have to go through federal highway that will, of course, there's an inherent risk because we would, obtaining the property before it's environmentally cleared, so we don't know what we're gonna uncover. Along this stretch, it's doubtful there's gonna be any archaeological stuff that we're gonna have to stay away from, so the risk here is pretty low, I would say. But it's just the whole process and going through the federal, which it's not always the quickest.
Yeah.
So.
I guess you assume that, because when you deal with that many people, you're not gonna get 100%.
Right.
So it's factored in kind of in the timetable somewhat.
It is. We were kind of more hopeful
More
that we could,
optimistic. Oh.
yeah. but,
Yeah, if we could have done it, then it wouldn't take as long.
yeah. And I mean, I was
Well, it's a good
hopeful.
thing, 100% is hard to get.
Well, they were able to knock it down, you know, from every parcel to just, they did a survey of, okay, which ones we absolutely have to get on the ground. And I was hopeful at that point, maybe we could get 100%, but it just didn't happen, so.
So you're not giving up on our project then?
No, I mean, the consultant's still working on it, I'm still working on it, so it's still in the STIP. So it's a commitment.
So nothing we can do then to help move things along, I guess?
I mean, if you
I
know.
suppose that information is not public.
Yeah, I don't know if I can share that information, probably not, but.
Was there consideration towards Walmart on that 21st Street in that area, that congestion coming into the first roundabout at all? Is there,
Putting a roundabout on that side of the.
or any other traffic plans on that side?
Well, that they looked at a roundabout up there as well, but it caused too much backup and queues for the northbound or westbound ramp to northbound movement. So, because there wouldn't be a signal to allow them to go. So that's why they didn't go for a roundabout. And you got the congestion of, you know, the outer road right there. It's just, there's a lot there. They also looked at maybe adding another signal right at the outer road. So that may still be a possibility, but having two signals that close together may cause issues as well, so.
Have to be synced,
Yeah, we'd have to make sure everything was, so.
Would be nice probably there.
What types of things are put in for pedestrians around these roundabouts? Pretty high traffic,
Yeah.
right here.
Well, with the
all
whole.
of our activities on the square, and then of
Right.
course by Walmart. I mean, it's scary, people go across that overpass.
Yeah, and that was a comment we received on one of the public meetings, several comments on. But the whole corridor is gonna have sidewalks on both sides. And then the roundabouts, they're gonna have splitter islands where they can cross the roundabout. And we're gonna try to allow a 6-foot wide pedestrian access across the bridge.
Wow.
So
That would be amazing.
That'd be so nice.
Yes.
The
we're
sidewalks,
kind of
that's
constrained
all.
with that bridge because it's not the widest, so, but we're trying to get it in, we think we can get it in and delineate, so that's the plan there.
Okay.
All right.
Jacob, I just want to say thank you to you and Elfman for coming and
Yeah,
presenting, because there's
no problem.
several new places around here, and you know, when I started back in August, and I also want to thank our commissioners for being here, two of them, and appreciate the conversation from Zach. You know, when I first got here in August, one of the first things that people started cornering me on was this 95 project,
Yeah.
which I knew nothing about, and so, you know, council, we talked about it, and you'd asked me to approach MoDOT, Larry and I, and so we began the only place we knew, just out, you know, outside of town here, and started those conversations, and then Commissioner Williams was gracious enough to come in and visit a little bit about the project and kind of explain why it's important and the necessity of it, so appreciate that. And so I think you have our full support on this, so we appreciate
All right,
it.
well, I appreciate it, thanks for your
We've
time.
been waiting for spring of 26 for a long
Yeah.
time.
I know.
Everyone is not cooperating.
Yeah.
Pertaining to that, it's a little bit different, you might not be able to answer, but since we're gonna have to wait another 3 or 4 years, this right out there here is falling apart pretty bad right
Oh,
now.
yes,
We're getting
I'm
a lot,
glad you brought that up.
we're getting a lot of people asking about that. I mean, what's the plan? Are we gonna try to repair this a little bit? 'Cause I mean, another 3 years or so is gonna.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I can definitely pass that along to our maintenance. We'll maintain it and make improvements.
You drive up there now,
Yes.
There could have been a point where, because this project was supposed to be in 26, where they waited on some of the stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we got a better time frame, so yeah, I can definitely pass that along.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Anything
sir.
else?
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. Now we've got the representative from the Southern Missouri Advocates.
Hello, folks.
Hello.
Glad to be here tonight. I want to speak on a subject that's near and dear to my heart. We're from Southern Missouri Advocates, as was spoken. We're a 501c3 that's going to be putting a women's crisis center here in Mountain Grove. And we've got, here in Missouri, it's a big problem, the domestic violence. And Chief Bledsoe, I'm sure you could attest to that. It's just something that's hit home in my family. There's nothing around here. There's nothing in the counties around here. Our board president, Brenda Cameron, couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to be stepping in for her. But she's the only advocate for several counties around here. And she handles about 300 cases a year. And there's no place for these women to go. The closest is West Plains, and they're always full. And so these women have no choice but to go out on the streets or go back to their abuser. We've got a building. We're looking to partner with the city and the businesses around here. We're hoping to raise about $1.5 million. That will cover the building that we're purchasing. It'll cover the rehab of the building, and it'll get us furnishings and staffing to get started. Here's our plans. In fact, our engineer was just talking to the city inspector. Here's this brochure too. Was just talking to the city inspector the last week, and it looks like we're good to go with these plans that he presented. And so we just need to come up with the money now. And so we've got a committee, a budget raising committee of about 10 people, and they'll be going around to the businesses and talking to people. And we really need people to reach deep in their pockets and help us out here. This is something that's dearly needed in this community. I'd like to introduce our executive director, Christy Swank. She might want to say a couple words.
Guys,
Hello.
thanks for your minutes tonight. Fun to meet everybody. My name is Christy Swank, Executive Director. I'm really excited to be a part of this project. It's been great getting to know Brenda Cameron. Her experiences are vast with a lot of these victims. It hits close to home to me as well, as I have a fairly extensive background of abuse starting from when I was a child to putting my father in prison as a young adult for 10 years to life for abuse, to a final straw in a relationship that was life or death and took me off grid from Arizona to Utah. And I've been rebuilding ever since. It was when I connected with a women's shelter out in Utah that not only provided refuge, but also gave education and learning on how to stay away from these types of things and how to watch for boundaries and all the things that we just presume everybody already knows. But really, there's so many people who aren't taught these things, and it wasn't until then that I actually learned how to stay away from these things and what to watch for so that it wasn't passed to my children. And it was life-changing for me, the things that I learned. And now I'm privileged and grateful to be able to bring it back around full circle here to Mountain Grove. And I'm really eager to connect with these women. We've already started. I've started a class once a week for a handful of women who, some are in it, some have just gotten out of it, on boundaries and how to recognize the situations that they're in so that they can make good decisions based on education and background. And I look forward to your support. I look forward to getting to know each one of you. And again, you guys, my story is one of so many hundreds of women's stories, and it's not just the women's lives, it's these children who are involved with these things too by way of their mothers, and then it's passed down and it just keeps going. And our goal is to be able to help educate and prevent these things so that these children can learn how to have healthy and good relationships and be able to break that cycle in their genealogy. So thank you, and we look forward to getting to know you guys more.
All right, thank you. You've got a fundraiser coming up in February at
Yes.
We do, our goal is the 27th of February, and we'll have more out there too. We're looking to get some flyers put up and
Okay.
local businesses and.
We're waiting on Melissa Schmidt, her office,
Mhm.
to get back with us for finalization on that.
I've seen.
We have a tentative
Okay.
on that, and so as soon as we know, we'll get with you guys, and if you could put it on your Facebook page and whatnot, that'd be great. We are selling tables, plates. It's gonna be a dinner over at the Candler here in the square. It'll seat about 300 people, and we hope to fill it up.
Okay.
There'll be an auction, and so if there's businesses that want to donate to that auction, that'd be great. Anyway, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good evening. All right. Looks like the administrator.
All right. Before we go on, I'll talk a little bit about sales tax, where we're at. You guys have been asking about that. We got this in late last week. Pictures painted. It doesn't look great, guys. Just telling you. In our police and fire sales tax in December 2025 compared to 2024, we were down $1,064, but year to date we were up $92. Transportation December down $627, year to date down $247. Half-cent capital improvement, we were down in December $602, year to date we're up $997. And then in general fund, year to date, December, down $1,200 in December, but year to date, we were up $1994, so almost $2,000 overall. So not as far as, we are gonna hit budget, obviously, but the budget committee, as we talked, it makes, we talked about budgeting flat, makes that even more important, as we move forward and doing those things. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, you had a question.
I was wondering here in the next couple of weeks if we could get a printout or a spreadsheet or something on how much the taxes have dropped over the years, because it has dropped. Because I can remember when setting up here in sales tax, we were up $8,000, $9,000, to see how much it has dropped.
So I can give, actually, so this sheet actually goes back, it gives 3 years total, so I could actually put a thing together to give to you. And I know you all had asked about a spreadsheet, and so Dolores was gracious enough to start that, but making sure that we give you accurate numbers is something, I don't want to give you something that I have to turn around and say, hey, just ignore that. But it should be pretty simple. I think I can give you 3 years back, or if you want a little more than 3 years,
No,
that's.
3 years would be
Okay.
fine.
All right, I can do that. Budget Committee, thank you to Jamie, Carolyn, Dean, and Dale for agreeing to serve on that. I think we had a great first meeting. I think you heard some things that, we hope to try, but also the realities that the city faces as well as part of that budget process. So we'll look forward to rolling out a budget for you later on this spring. So Lake Lily, done. We signed the completion certificates and got that out to Radu with Toth and Associates, and then submitted the last forms to Jessica Green at SCOCOG. So that project is considered complete. Now comes the maintenance and maintaining it. And our fire chief doesn't know this yet, since it's right there at the fire station. We're going to let them do a burn off in it each year, and then we'll maintain the banks and all that. So, and it will not be a fully stocked fishing pond, as so many have been asking about. I wish it were. I'd probably be a little less in the office, that's for sure. Grant updates. As you know, we're working on a street grant with SCOCOG. SCOCOG is soliciting the RFQs, or requests for qualifications, from our engineering firms. We've been getting a lot of those qualifications back. We'll select the firm in early February. The firm will then complete a study on the streets, and then, of course, more paperwork will then be completed and submitted. We should have an idea on the amount that we receive closer to the end of this year. So if you don't know anything about grants, it's really hurry up and wait, as I'm sure our commissioners can attest to. So a lot of hurry up and wait. Sewer plant, you heard from Bob himself. I was going to give you an update if he couldn't be here, but since Bob was gracious enough to drive from Poplar Bluff to give you the update, you've kind of heard where we're at in that process. So Heritage Fest, already starting to plan that. I attended the first of many meetings regarding that festival. Just want to say thank you to the volunteers. As I heard that night, it's STP, or the same 10 people that volunteer their time to put on Heritage Fest, and so I'm excited to be there. We started discussing artists for Friday night concert, and being a 90s country kid, I'm excited, genuinely excited about some of the names that were thrown out. I was like a kid in a candy shop, so hopefully some big names taking place. Fundraisers be taking place to help offset expenses, so help out if you can. Also, as Cheyenne discussed, just want to commend that committee for what they're doing in regards to the use tax. Budget committee folks can tell you, I mean, I showed them the budget, the spreadsheet that I review, and the use tax is critical for the city of Mountain Grove. So be there January 15th, 6 p.m., Mountain Grove High School cafeteria. Stuart Haynes from Missouri Municipal League will be there to discuss and answer questions. So I thought it might be helpful to have a third-party individual be there to help answer some of those questions. I'll be at Intercounty Electric tomorrow for a meeting that'll take place all morning. So I'll be out of pocket all morning at Intercounty, should any of you need me. Pleased to announce we've offered our Director of Tourism position. The individual has accepted, and I'm pleased to announce that Luke Hurt will be joining the city March 30th as our Director of Tourism. So really excited. Luke Hurt, so he has family here, and so he's from Mountain Grove and looking forward to returning to work for the city of Mountain Grove and do some great things here. So really excited to have him coming on board. I'll be out January 27th and 28th for the four-state city administrators conference taking place in Joplin. So I'll be over there. I'll be leaving here on the 27th the afternoon and be over there all day on the 28th. We'll be back, so I'll be attending that. A lot of great topics to be discussed, emerging technologies being one of them, and then some legislative updates as well as a part of that. So unless you have questions, that concludes my report.
Any questions? Sounds pretty good. Now, to the hardest part of the meeting, I need a motion to pay the bills. Dean made it first.
Second.
Carolyn made it second. Dean, how you vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
John?
Yes.
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 All right, now I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion.
One thing I would like to tell you guys before we go into closed session, Carmen and I are going to be teaching a CPR and first aid class for Seminole Electric on the 19th. This will be about the 4th or 5th year that I've instructed their CPR class. And Carmen is a jewel at helping.
All right.
As long as she's not the dummy, I mean, you know.
No, we got a lot of them though.
That's good.
All right, I guess, did we get a vote from both sides?
We didn't vote, but you had it. Jamie made the motion,
Yeah.
John second.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dean,
I was gonna
how-
say either one or the other. I don't care which one you put me on. Motion for second.
Jamie, how you vote?
Yes.
Brenda?
Yes.
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 All right.
All right. Thank you all. See you then.